Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a great day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your comments, and thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. And the title of this video is Stop Trying to Force Us to Be West Africans. Now, some people may not have a problem with this, but I know that many Black Americans do have a problem with it, and I want to break it down. Many people try to shrink Black American ancestry down to one region of Africa, one tribe if they can, one coast, and one story. But the documented record, the historical record, the genetic record tells a much bigger truth. Most people hear the same oversimplified version that Black Americans come only from West Africa, that our lineage is lost, mysterious, or too mixed to trace, that we're just a generic diaspora group with no specific roots. That story is convenient, but it is not true. Here's what the evidence actually shows. Black American ancestry stretches across multiple African regions shaped by thousands of years of migration long before the transatlantic slave trade. Senegambia, Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria, Benin, Togo, these regions appear heavily in shipping records. Congo, Angola, Gabon, this region is one of the largest contributions to Black American ancestry. Mali, Niger, Chad, Mauritania, these populations moved across the continent for centuries, shaping West African genetics. Sudan, and this is something we need to listen to carefully because these countries get omitted. Sudan, Ethiopia, Eritrea, Somalia, the Nile corridor, these appear in Black American DNA because they appear in West African DNA, the result of ancient migrations. So we are mixed in with a lot of different groups in Africa, which is one of the reasons why we have so many diverse phenotypes. Now, what this evidence is saying is not that slave traders went into all of these different areas of Africa and captured our ancestors. It means that our ancestors moved around all over Africa. And as they move around, they mix with different groups. So we ended up in West Africa, probably captured by people that were really not our people. That's my belief, or that's possible. But I think we need to get to the bottom of it so that we don't have to feel like we're just stuck in one region of Africa with people that we don't share their mannerisms, we don't share their nature. We're nothing like some of those people. You know, the way they behave when they come here, we're nothing like them. Now, here's a part that never gets discussed: lost or absorbed populations. Some of our ancestors came from groups that no longer exist. That doesn't mean our lineage is lost, it means it's ancient. We are ancient people. We have been mixed and remixed a number of times. Now, let's talk about the DNA test, what they can and cannot tell. People say DNA tests are entertainment only, but that's not true either. The science is real. What's not real is the idea that they can tell Black Americans their exact tribe. DNA can show broad regions, ancient population patterns, migration signatures, and even close relatives. I know some people who did a DNA test and found out they were kin to folk they had no idea they were kin to. But what they cannot do is assign you to a specific tribe that existed 300 to 500 years ago. Many of those groups didn't exist in their modern form back then. And here's the part most people don't understand: West Africans themselves carry ancient ancestry from the Sahel, the Nile Valley, and ancient North Africa, which would verify that some of us carry Egyptian DNA, not of the modern Egyptians that are over there now, but the ancient Egyptians. So we are a very diverse group of people. And that's why Black Americans sometimes show Sahelian, Nile Valley DNA, East African DNA, and ancient North African DNA. It's not because enslaved people were taken from those regions directly, it's because West Africa was shaped by those migrations. Many of our tribes moved into those West African nations, and we were not related to the tribes that were already there. So, ancient North Africa versus modern North Africa. Modern North Africans are heavily mixed due to Arab migrations, Mediterranean influence, and centuries of movement. Ancient North Africans, however, were genetically closer to other African populations, including the Sahel and West Africa. Black Americans sometimes match ancient North African DNA more than modern North Africans because West Africans do too. It's ancient African history showing up in our DNA. So those people that are up in North Africa now, in Egypt and Morocco and Algeria, those people are invaders. They are not the original people of those areas. But when the invaders come in, the people who were native to those regions bounce. They go into refugee camps and they start moving in other directions. But the ancient people of North Africa were Black, and some of our family members lived in those areas. Now, the reason I'm talking about this in this video is because there really does seem to be a cultural mismatch between Black Americans and at least the Africans who migrate to the United States. Many Black Americans, for that reason, want to break free from being boxed into a single West African identity. Not because we're rejecting Africa, because I am African descended, but our history created a completely different people. The individuals who insist the loudest that Black Americans are just West Africans are often the same ones whose mannerisms, tone, and social behavior feel incompatible with Black American culture. So the cultural mismatch is real. Black Americans were shaped by 400 years of American life. Our humor, our communication style, our emotional language, our boundaries, our expectations of respect, all of those things are shaped by our American life. African immigrants arrived with their own cultural codes, shaped by their own nations, languages, and histories. Black Americans have the right to define ourselves without being defined by people who don't share our history or our cultural instincts. So, America was the formation of a new people for us. By the late 1700s, Black Americans had already formed a distinct ethnic group on U.S. soil. New culture, new language patterns, new food ways, new music traditions, not West African, not Caribbean, not generic African diaspora, Black American, a people shaped by survival, innovation, and community. So, why does the real story get ignored? Why don't people talk about this? Because social media flattens identity, because diaspora narratives often center immigrant stories, because many people don't know how detailed United States records actually are, and because acknowledging Black Americans as a foundational American group makes people uncomfortable. Now, why does this distinction matter? It matters because identity clarity protects our culture, because our lineage isn't vague, it's documented, because our roots are not small, they're continental, and because the story of Black America is one of the oldest, most foundational stories on this land. Black America roots don't fit into a single box. They stretch across kingdoms, migrations, and civilizations. Our story isn't lost, it's recorded. It's continental and it's ours. And the whole idea is to say that we don't want to get boxed into being West African descendants only. We are an ancient people. We have migrated and moved, been transferred, and captured, and remade. So we are not West Africans. We are Americans. This is our identity. And we have to stand on this if we want to protect our culture and if we want to protect our identity. Let me know what you think about this video. Thank you for listening. Stay warm out there now and have a great day.